I think it's working. Yeah. I wonder if I should put the whatever. Alright. I think this is the first time drawing in like... Well, not if you count the little bit of design shit I had to do. But it's definitely the first time in a long time. Guess I'll do some high gesture. do a little hide. Hands mad shaky.
What?
So my hand's mad shaky because it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
That's just what happens. It's doing the Itza demo he posts. The hide figure's doing the Itza demo E.
What?
The hide figure's doing the Itsu demo E.
Doing the what?
Itsu demo E. This is fucked. Itsu demo E. Yo, Cam showed up.
Can't shut up.
Cam showed up, yeah. Let's become stronger otaku today based. The grind, the Oda grind. Sense of distance and shit is all fucked in right now.
Yo, get rid of these doxing details.
Oh yeah. How do I get rid of that?
Just turn up your
Hold on. The other nice thing I realized about the banner, the Goose Style News banner, you know,
Yeah.
is that if someone comes in the stream, you know, they have like a thing to look like
Yeah.
that like says like you can get people up on your thoughts immediately.
Yeah.
Like you don't even have to say anything, you just got the goose.
Yeah, it's a really good. It's a really good thing.
Hides fingers. Okay. This is all fucked up. What anime is that playing in the? That's actually Salome in the background, playing FF15 or 16 rather. He's cracking up reading it. It's pretty epic. Fuck. The nice thing about this too is I could potentially record every art practice session this way too,
Yeah.
which would be like a really good log of just shit.
Yeah.
That would actually be like extremely just valuable. I feel like I want everything to be
Cool.
I said I feel like I've switched to like a long bias suddenly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that kind of one.
Saw cats, yeah. I fucking love that picture. It's iconic. I feel like it just like it encapsulates like everything about him. Spirit of age, spirit of cats. Oh my god, this is like fucking terrible. My hand is so shaky. I'm still listening to Erica on loop.
No, no,
I'm starting to like be able to like finish her lines before they come out.
Nice.
What's this? Alright, I just went back to. Wait, no, I didn't.
I just felt fucked yesterday, but today it's like my chest felt really soft. It's weird.
Yeah. So what have you been doing today?
Hmm?
What have you been doing today?
I just been grinding out the rest of those
Oh yeah,
those things.
Yeah,
Fun
yeah.
stuff is my priority.
yeah.
I'd say a few hours more of those is what I need.
Sweet. Let's do one more. I wish I remembered which one had the Shogakuse with the Rondo Saru pose. I'm gonna try to find it. Maybe it's just... No. we're just gonna go with this one. Suspected you were learning from. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, his gesture vids are sick. Especially for like, you know, when you haven't done shit in a while. Because just like seeing his hand motions and stuff. The old vid, yeah. I don't really like following him if it's digitally, like with these, because you know, half the thing is you know, seeing how he moves his hand and all that crap. So I think he's been, I actually can't remember now. I think he's been showing hand cam lately. Yeah, he's been doing hand cam now, so that's good at least.
Or yeah, some of the time.
Some of the time at least, yeah. Yeah, it's crazy because like Hyde's like out viewing Saito after the Saito show, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think he's out subbing him,
Sure,
and yeah, maybe not consistently, but
yeah.
so a lot of people know about Hyde now. Hide.
He's doing well.
He's been Aeromaxing. So. Feeling already a decent bit better. So stubby. Let's see. I guess we'll do one more. What is this one? Go skip that one. What's this one? That's fine. Alright, let's see. I think I will do some gestures based on some drawings. Then I might do some more hides, I'm not sure. I can't even remember what I was last thinking about last time I was drawing. What I was even trying to focus on and do. Alright, let's just want to do? Let's share. Do some fawn kill studies. Alright, gesture study of this.
You should do like an insult auto impersonation stream. Answer every question like a freak.
I'm not a very charismatic person. He uploaded a. Did I tell you this? He uploaded a Yoshi's story speedrun tutorial. You like see comments on those videos, they're all like, what the fuck? Like, what even is this shit? There's that like one time it's like that mental health thing. It's just like this obese black woman like just saying like God knows what.
What was that one question, that one like basic question that made him have like a fucking breakdown? It was like the
Oh.
like what do I think about
Yeah.
is there some game mechanic or something?
Yeah. I can't remember, something in like Mario Maker. It's what do I think about as a technical mechanic, or how do I feel about it personally? This is fucking hard. It's hard to get this to feel like it actually is.
Hmm?
I'm drawing one of the one fawn kill character. The hell's her name again? The one with the giant shield and shit. And yeah, I'm not used to drawing like that type of thing. I'm trying not to get like a fucking
Are you doing the thing I told you?
well, right now I'm just doing like a gesture study thing. I'm about to try the thing. Maybe 2 seconds. I guess that's okay. Do one more of these, and then I'm gonna do another hide, and then I'll do then I'll try the line skipping thing. Let's see. Cam, did you decide what you're gonna analyze and stream yet? Next, no, I'm still trying to figure it out because it's like I'll probably talk about, seeing as I'm reading it, I'm probably gonna do a stream where I just talk at length about definitely Mushoku Tensei, especially since it's kind of relevant right now. I wanted to do volume by volume index dissections too at some point, especially those for like personal, just kind of like personal edification to iron out my thoughts and stuff. But as far as the next one, I'm still trying to think of like the perfect thing to talk about. So it's like a you just know kind of vibe. A lot of stuff in Fawn Kills like that because they a lot of them have like guardian animals and shit. Whoa, a stream Unib says. Yep, Unib. Yeah, honestly, I figured I might just. I was editing a video yesterday and I was like, this is so fucking pointless. I should just focus on streaming more and shit. And that way, I can record shit I'd normally be doing anyway. If I want to analyze something, I can verbally talk about things I was thinking about anyway. It's just better time. I am going to do like very aggressively, very ambitiously edited videos like relatively soon, but they're just going to exclusively be devlog videos for when I'm doing like devlogs for my game. Which first one probably I want to say a month and a half from now or so. Depends how long it takes to edit. My model for how I want the devlogs to feel is Andrew Cunningham, but with the Reddit humor replaced with slightly chuddy based in otaku humor. What it takes to make otaku media partly inspired me to take learning Japanese more than 2 months in on the daily grind. Thanks for lighting the fire. Based, yeah, that's epic. Yeah, no, I think it's funny because I think I do feel as though there has been a general like cultural feeling of almost like, I don't want to say pointless yeah, I don't want to say pointlessness towards learning Japanese, but I really like think it's epic to remind people that like you're unlocking like insane cultural power and possibilities when you get the JP down. Like you potentially open yourself up to being like an actual like JP writer, which is just insane. When you think about it and shit. I was actually gonna do that's another type of stream I wanted to do. Is just I don't want to write on stream because that would be retarded. You'd just be seeing me like just kind of sit there and stand up and pace around and all that shit. But what I would like to do is possibly do some like revision and stuff on stream, like go over some of what I wrote, and probably not any game stuff. Well, maybe some game stuff. I'm not sure, but definitely like novel I started working on in Japanese. Definitely we'll go over that and stuff. And another thing that would be good is showing how I've been studying dialogue and stuff. That's studying dialogue is one of those kind of like it's one of those kind of like slow processes that slow burn. Yeah, it's a slow burn, spine tingling, genre defining thing that is good for stream because I can just like literally just talk about whatever I'm thinking about. Yeah, it was Evid plus going to Tokyo for the first time. Hanging out with... Oh, holy shit. Hanging out with a Japanese composer. That's sick. Is he active in, like, the doujin scene, or... does he just... But yeah, that's sick. Yeah, a lot of people. It's funny because a lot of people do. It's definitely not the first time I've heard people talk about how like actually going there, motivates them more because you can, you know, it can kind of solidify the idea of like, oh yeah, that's like, there's shit there that we don't have. But yeah, I could just like a good stream would be like, for example, to just pull up like a VN or something and just go through all like a certain character's like dialogue that I'm really focused on, or whatever, and just show my process for going through that, or a light novel or whatever, just anything, and really showing like how I try to go over the dialogue. What we call he does what we call new music, is experimental composition. New music. It's not Doge and stuff. Oh, I see. Akiba Kit. Yeah, that's pretty sick. I saw the screenshots of your messages on how to study dialogue, but I couldn't even do a nice workflow. Yeah, I have like a ton of shit I could show about that. And yeah, it's definitely like slow because it's one of those things where you just like, well, I have a whole checklist of questions that I like to go through. I'll show all those. Piece for the viola called Denpa-chan Never Dies. That's based. Yeah, let me think real quick, like what questions I usually go through. Well, okay, well the first thing, highest priority, and this ever since I made this my highest priority when looking at dialogue and stuff, um, Japanese in general has just been sounding way more natural to me. But the highest priority I always focus on when I do dialogue study stuff is the like the gobi, like the sentence ending particle. Just noting if it's ne or yo or no or whatever, or nah or whatever. Like, I feel like that is or even zo or whatever. Like, I feel like that's like one of the most like, that is the most or just it not being there. I feel like that's the number one most critical piece of info, and you can ask like so many questions about why it is that way, and I feel like it wow, that looks fun. It illuminates. Well, I started thinking about writing, and now I can't. Now I can't think about art suddenly. I'll try to. But yeah, that so many things are answered just by like really carefully asking like why the gobi is what it is. So I'll just kind of go over all the questions I ask when I eventually show that off and stuff. I can actually show right now. They might look a little bit retarded right now. This is one of the earlier ones I did, but I write down all the keywords and phrases of like a certain character or a certain archetype that I find useful. So like I'll just go through and like it's insanely shocking how good this is when I need to capture a tone of voice, and I can just kind of dig through this and be like, oh, these are all things, these are all patterns of speak that this character could have, and it's just like ridiculously useful. Hello to all based otaku based Pepe based. Goal orientation in relation to more Nietzsche joke. Oh yeah, that's a really, really interesting discussion. Talking about plot in relation to Nietzsche joke or mode. That's like a huge discussion that could get very, very interesting. Trying to Gobi Max ham base. Trying to Gobi Max seems like it would be hardcore without having a ton of face. Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's funny because I was trying to think about that a lot, like in terms of the difference between being obviously a gaijin is that like you haven't physically reacted to these things your entire life, so it's like it's obviously a huge difference than obviously like a native writer and all that shit. So it's like you have to like replace that, I think, with like a well, other than just obviously just getting a native to tell you that it feels good or not. I feel like you have to replace that with just like, I don't know, almost thinking about examples of characters and shit in like a more like musical way. Like, oh, does this invoke the feeling I get when I've like read all the shit I've read? Does this invoke the same feeling I get as the shit I've read? I guess that's like our closest equivalent. Partially as you recognize this media as being a successful successor evolution of otaku values from the type A otaku media. Particular. Oh yeah. We'll talk about that too. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about there. Japan planning or going to Japan? Ask people. No, not yet. It's gonna be a while, honestly, because I honestly, well, if I get a good sum, like a good surplus of money, I'm probably gonna take a vacation. There, obviously, because that'd just be a good thing to do. But until I'm like kind of wealth maxed, I'm not even gonna consider like moving and all that shit. I'm just kind of trapped in hell till then. Till we're got our project out and we're a little bit wealth maxed. Just gonna be holding down the fort in the dystopian I visited Shaft's main office. Visited Shaft's main office. Tons of structures, objects on the block. Oh, that's oh yeah. That's funny because they probably have like a ton of like weird like postmodern like fucking pieces of like weird props and shit. That's funny as hell. Yeah, never see. Yeah, that sounds like a video. Like that sounds like some like that sounds like a video for Kanipa effect to make like a cringy video out of. Put some fruity spin on. The amazing avant-garde structures of Studio Shaft. I haven't heard that. Yeah, I don't think I think he's kind of ugly and irrelevant now. Did some vlogging at the park. Might be too crucial. Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I'd at least take a look. think I got the scale. Nah, it's well, whatever. Whatever. Let's just move on. Alright, we are gonna do one more hide video, and then I'm gonna do the first copy in like weeks, months. I don't know. Can't remember the last time I did one. I wish I could find the hide video with the JS in it. He monitored the Giga Digi debate at a Crunchyroll thing. That sounds like some real slow burn Kina. That sounds like a try not to cringe challenge. Alright, let's just do this one. I'm pretty sure I clicked that for probably about 2 minutes. I think I got out the second the actual like debating kicked in because I couldn't take it. Dempatube videos. Post Digibro Voller. Yeah. I have seen them. I don't remember. Like, some people have, like, showed me them and brought them to my attention. I honestly can't remember exactly what they were like in terms of... Because there's a whole, arrow... Big topic at the yeah, that was probably terrible. I can kind of picture it. But yeah, like there's a whole like kind of like it's sort of like linked to the whole damaged BPD Joker pilled femcel kind of Twitter scene. And it's like it's kind of like a very specific brand of irony weeb that has like, you know, really likes the whole like, oh, there's this like you know, using anime and weeb shit for like a kind of like, I don't know, like self-deprecating like edgy thing, and that's the impression that the Dempatube videos gave me, but I'll have to take a closer look. 3-hour found footage meta documentary about the scene. Oh shit. Yeah, definitely tell me about that. I am very curious. Cuz I want to know if it's indicative, you know, what's it indicative of? What is it is it a thing that we're going to be seeing more of, you know? I mean, I don't know. I'm very eager to see what that entails. Because obviously, like, you know, shit like, obviously, like, Saya is, like, really big with, like, damaged BPD Joker pilled femcells and stuff, and like there's a whole like Twitter scene dedicated to that. I assumed it was like an offshoot, but of that kind of spirit. This is off balance. Oh yeah. Saya being short is definitely like the thing. I think that it's the shortness and the accessibility of the the whole like you know, oh, it's crazy, it's quirky, it's crazy, and it's short. Yeah, and that has given it sort of like intense like entryway accessibility and a whole like kind of like fashion to that and like kind of similar things. It's funny because like I was aware of the kind of like um, some of these like Twitter circles and stuff by this one like artist that he was part of DJT for a short bit. Some people here might know who he is, Shah, and he was part of that whole like he was part of this whole like Zoomer circle of like okay, I think this is the best way I can sum it up. The type of people who would be inclined to make Subahibi their life. That's what I'm talking about, those type of people. That is the main symptom, and I think that's what the whole Dempa tube thing reminded me of. It reminded me of people who are obsessed with Subahibi, that whole scene. What's Shop to now? I actually don't know. I haven't talked to him. I think he still logs on Discord, and I see that his status says he's like playing a video game or something. I don't know. Oh yeah, he's been fooling around with Blender, and so I guess he's getting into 3D. I don't know if he still draws. I don't know, but yeah, hopefully he's hopefully he's not breaking down, good Charlotte style. Hopefully he's because he was definitely getting better at art and stuff. So hopefully he doesn't meet with a terrible fate. It's funny though, because I mean you can get you can invest a lot of skill points into art and stuff at younger ages, and you can just end up having nothing to do with it later in life and shit. It's like just happens all the time. I remember like back in the day, back in like 2013 when I first was like taking art a little bit more seriously and shit, and he's now ugly and irrelevant. But like I would watch a lot of Psychra, and he was saying how like, oh, it's so common. He sees it all the time. Sees people who like, get solid at art and stuff, and they quit and whatever and shit. And I remember that was like mind blowing at the time because it was like, oh, you got that far and shit. But yeah, it's like it's a lot to keep up because you can't, to put it simply, you can't lose it in the generic sense. You can't like go insane and still be a proper artist and shit. So like, Shaw kind of reminded me of that because it's like, if he's having some kind of like mental, physical breakdown and all that shit, well then there goes his time as an artist, and that just happens to people. It just happens all the time. It's very unfortunate. But it's like there's so much more to juggle with being a successful creator and shit than just getting your skills down, or getting on track to getting your skills down. Critiques of Toby Fox. I was a bit surprised that in Japan his music is featured in otaku rhythm games. Actually, there's a funny story about that. His music is featured in otaku rhythm games, and there are Undertale dojins in Nakano Broadway and Akiba. Why do you think his work is embraced by native otaku culture, and does that change your perspective on its legitimate? Yeah, honestly, there's no end to shit I could say about this. But first, I gotta show you something funny. Let me find it. So this is taken from the Undertale newsletter, which I, of course, subscribe to. Let me find it. Okay. Yeah, so to put it simply, looks like he hasn't been hitting the books lately. Looks like he's been slacking a little bit. Yeah, so they rejected his song that he's been like getting really friendly with like Camellia and shit lately and stuff. Well, it's more like Camellia's been kind of like leeching off his fame. Not that Camellia needs to leech off anything, so because he's a god, but like it's Camellia has this whole funny thing, and so that I assume through that it got Toby more into the rhythm game scene and all that stuff, like the whole Beatmania scene and all that stuff. And yes, they fucking rejected his song, and like you can tell it fucked him up because he wrote this after too, and like he made this dumb song, which was like sounds self-deprecating as shit. If you just look up Dog Bonk, you'll find it. Probably Toby Dog Bonk. But yeah, to put it simply, the way I see UT and Toby in general is like he made. I mean, I don't even know where to start. Okay, to start, I'll just say this. He made something that was, A, genuinely really impressive, especially for its time, and B, grounded legitimately in, obviously legitimately grounded in Japanese creator influence in a way that is not, like, normally seen, to put it simply. Like, for one, his composing style, particularly for that game, was obviously took a lot from Zune and stuff, and he referenced a lot of other like composers, Japanese composers, obviously, and he was going for a general like Japanese game feel and all that shit. But what's funny, what you come to realize, is that he was doing it as a like kind of a one-time thing, so to speak. Not entirely. Like obviously, he'll always be Japanese inspired in the way he is. But the thing is that like he natively just kind of wanted to be like Andrew Hussey too. Like he doesn't like natively have this idea of like, oh, I want to make stuff that's like totally in Japanese taste and all that shit. And like it's very, very, very obvious if you play Deltarune and stuff that like, oh, you know, this is more like the native Toby and all that stuff. And yeah, it's like a huge part of the reason. I mean, honestly, I can make like an entire video. I can make an entire video about all the all the fucking things that Undertale did to like why, like its thoughts, essentially what it's, because it's basically a piece of very complex propaganda is what Undertale is, specifically about not just RPGs, but really like how RPGs extend into otaku media as a whole. And to put it simply, Undertale was a like criticism of JRPGs and kind of just otaku shit in general by way of like parody. And I put both of those in quotes because it's very like loose, and that's kind of the point I'm getting at. It's somewhere loose between like a tribute and a parody, to the point where it just kind of can be taken straightforwardly. So in that sense, it suits. It was destined to suit Japanese taste. Like it was destined to do so because you don't have to notice the element. You don't have to notice the more like sinister elements of it. You can just take it as a tribute to Japanese games and stuff. How many hours are you into drawing? About a little over 1 hour. No, I'm just kidding. That's a Liam King's joke. If he's streaming and someone asks him how long he's been playing Mario, he says how long he's been streaming. I'm like, my number of hours I calculated with drawing, with art in general. My number of hours since I started taking it seriously is probably like, I think I calculated it to be around anywhere between 8 and 10K. So that's why I don't consider myself like, you know, because I'm genuinely not really joking about the 20K hours thing. It is kind of, obviously you can still do a lot of cool shit at like, you know, the number of hours I have, but yeah, that's why I don't consider myself like an artist, you know, to put it in super hot fire terms. I'm not an artist. My brother's more the artist than me, but yeah, I probably have around, if I had to guess, like I'd say like 9K or so is safe to say, 9,000. But I'm pretty confident that that's accurate because I remember the times I drew quite well, and I was able to calculate it. Can we see the brother? No. That's brother reveal is coming. It's coming another time.
That's not Neko Neko, is it?
I think it is. Yeah, I think that's Neko Neko. Judging by the Russian text.
I don't mind going on like a joint voice chat, but cool face reveal.
But yeah, so Undertale is legitimately a product that like legitimately reads as like a Japanese to put it simply, it's in Japanese style enough legitimately that yeah, it's not a shock to me at all that Japan took so well to it. I can't see Japan taking a fraction that well to Deltarune, even if it does similar numbers. I can't see it actually having the same kind of cultural wide spread. I think if Deltarune does really good numbers, even in Japan, it will be a self-contained Deltarune culture, whereas Undertale was something that diffused into Japanese artistic culture in general. So that's the simple answer. But I have a lot more to say about it, which I'll get to at some point. Your Patreon tier is too your Patreon tier is too low. You gotta bust out more few more rupees or whatever for that. Whatever Pootler uses. How do we stop Toby again? The main ways to stop Toby's reign of terror, reign of his evil tormenting of the media space and all that shit, his attacks on otaku. The main way is well, first of all, the more people that learn Japanese, the better, because that means more people like who can just get exposed to, other, a different cultural outlet. He's just not, part of the reason he's so powerful is because he's genuinely, if you're into like nerd shit, if you're into video games, media, whatever, he's genuinely one of the more interesting things. That's not to say there's not tons of products more interesting than his products, but as a character, as a figure, as a person, he's genuinely one of the more interesting people to hear about in the Anglosphere. Having access to Japanese, knowing Japanese, just inherently takes energy away from him. So that's the most basic one. From there, it's just honestly, I don't see anything changing until we see like epic projects being made. Like okay, take like Needy Girl Overdose. Needy Girl Overdose is funny because at a glance it looks almost like it could be like an Irony Weeb project, even though it's made by a Japanese dude who's actually pretty cool. Naruda, he's actually a cool dude. You wouldn't I think because of, like I was saying, Irony Weebs and stuff, and not just Irony Weebs, but Damage BPD, Fem Cells, etc., whatever. Because they're easy to associate with the type of aesthetic he did. Plus he's got kind of like a retro tard thing. It's easy to go is this guy cringe? But at any rate, the point is that he did make a game that was genuinely infused with otaku aesthetic, and he made a game that did extremely well, and doesn't ultimately culturally go back to it occupies the same space that Toby is occupying in the indie market, because that's the market, but it culturally points back to otaku culture and Japanese language as well in general. So if there could just be more, if we were just flooding the whole market with that, then that would literally change because right now the indie game market is, it's, I'm sure people know what I'm getting at here, but it's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing. It's a scary place. If you just spend some time on indie game Twitter and all that shit, you'll see what I mean. It's not a pretty sight. Toby's work on the Pokemon soundtrack is pure cringe. Ashfield says yes. Yeah, I heard it. I heard. I don't know. I think he did it. Did he do that one that was like the goes into like the gay, show tunes shit? Like the oh my god, that's like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. The yeah, very cringe. He's definitely getting worse as a composer. Probably not in small due to the fact that like the dude hasn't had to have touch with reality in forever, and also his hands are broken apparently and shit. I don't know, but definitely seems like he's getting worse as a composer, especially if he's getting rejected by especially if he's getting we're gonna do a copy now. I'm gonna try to do a copy in a way that a kind of quicker way. We'll see if I can get the technique down. It's probably not going to go very well, but yeah. Anyway, the point is if we could get more products that are, I want to see things much more ambitious, much more powerful than Needy Girl Overdose that point back to otaku culture. I want to see works with hard-hitting, high-tiered VN quality stories written in Japanese and then translated to English translated well to English. I want to see hard-hitting stuff that, just points back to otaku culture, that occupies that scene. Because what do the kids who want to become creators do? What do they look at? What do they go, oh, that's my venue, that's my chance to become someone, that's a chance to do something with this art? They look at indie games. That's honestly where they look. That's the place that they go. And they go, oh, there's money in that, there's community in that, security, there's people. Games are just fun in general. That's what they want. That's what the people being born who are learning art, that's what they want to do. And if they go into games and that's what they're thinking, that's what they're trying to build towards, then who are they hanging out with? Who are they spending time with? What kind of things are they going to start valuing? What kind of things are they going to start being interested in? How are they going to think and talk and whatever? Well, it's, again, like I said, go on indie dev Twitter, and that's, you'll have a decent idea. And so it's like, okay, so in other words, being a creator, this part of the face is so sensitive. Being a creator in the West means very high probability that you're going to be drawn to a very, very ugly scene that is going to put distance between you and any sort of proper otaku culture. So if we could dominate that space with otaku shit, then maybe someone who wants to become a creator in the West could go, oh, I want to do things that way, and their soul would be saved. Do you see Katawa Shoujo as a step in the right direction? Not heard. Yeah, seems more. Yeah, Katawa Shoujo is pretty wild because I didn't play it personally. I've known about it obviously for a really long time, and everything I've seen from Katawa Shoujo to me looked like if someone was to ask me right after that came out, like, what do you think this indicates? I would have probably given a very, very optimistic answer. I would probably said this indicates to me that, like, the West is, like, really trying and wants to, has a chance to, like, maybe before long properly start being like the Japanese and stuff. But that's what's wild about it, is that it wasn't. I mean, Katawa Shoujo was just kind of like this one-off thing that didn't, like, go anywhere, so to speak. Like, it was just this one-off Western effort to kind of, like, whimsically make a product that's, at least from what I saw, at least fairly superficially similar. it didn't look like it was being like too head up its ass, kind of like, oh, quirky. I mean, there's obviously a good amount of that in the DNA, but like, it didn't seem like it was too like it seemed like a very very far cry from DDLC, which is obviously like, you know, we all know what DDLC is. Um, so back then, I would have been really hopeful, but now I've come to see it as this very strange kind of indication of like a simpler time before, I guess, the creative culture in the West really kind of, I guess, solidified on its course to like not, just really definitively not be like Japan at all. Which is just weird. Yeah, it is weird because you would have thought if you saw it back in the day, you would have been like, oh shit. Does that mean that 2023 is going to have like ton of artists who are literally just like indistinguishable from Japanese, and dudes who can like write in Japanese and make otaku products with zero catch to it. It's just good otaku product written in Japanese and all this shit. And yeah, the answer is obviously no. So it's just weird, definitely weird. It's kind of this just one-off thing, but yeah, it will always be significant because at the same time, I see people to this day think it's like a cool thing that happened. Well, usually some people I've seen have like a more pessimistic view of it, but most people seem to think it's a cool thing that happened, and it's evidence that the West is not like completely trapped in the exact way that it feels like they've been forced to do things and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I do think it's sad that it didn't indicate that things were about to move in like a much nicer direction. But at the same time, I think it's good that it happened. It will definitely be something. I mean, people will always talk about it. Like it will always be remembered. Like, oh yeah, that time that like the West fucking made a tried to make like an authentic-ish feeling Vinny. It will always be significant for that. Definitely really interesting that happened. I don't know if I could bring myself to actually like play it ever, but maybe at some point. This is going okay-ish, I think. I don't know. I'm trying to like. I think I'm figuring out as I'm going like how exactly I should do this. Because I'm trying to like. I mean, maybe you can explain it to me. Huh?
What?
This copying method of
Okay.
the kind of line skipping thing. I'm being a little random right now, but
Take a look at it again.
I mean we could just discuss it after. Oh fuck.
Do you think we should do a stream where we talk about stuff you know?
Yeah, we could do that. Honestly, we should. We should have a.
Yeah.
Should just get in VC and do like a topic.
Yeah, that might be good. Because I don't know if I want to do that, but if other people might like that, then I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we should bring in. Maybe we should start doing. We should have.
We could do VC chat, or VChat.
What do you mean?
VChat groups, yeah, group stream.
Yeah. We could have. Yeah.
Like one other.
Yeah, bring in some other. Yeah.
Okay, we can do that.
As long as they have something in. As long as they don't like shit it up and it turns into like
Yeah,
a
that's what I said,
cringy.
one or two people.
Yeah. Because that shit can be really funny and interesting, or it could be very cringe. It depends. So
Yeah.
could be cool. Yeah. This area is super important to get right. It's kind of okay. Kind of okay. Oh, let's just keep going. Like the it was fun because for like a short period there was can't remember what his name was anymore. He just I think they just last I checked he was nicknamed Cunny Eater even though he's like not based in otaku. He's like a total like normie. I think someone in who I think someone maybe forced him to have that name or something, but there's that guy with the kanji Eater, and he was doing like the DJT files. It's like bringing on DJTers like they're celebrities. I mean the Ham interview was legendary. That was badass.
Yeah, I watched it.
Wait, that's the Cunny Eater? That guy?
Yeah, yeah, that was Cunny Eater. Is your Discord open to non-visual art creatives? Yes. As a composer, yes. Composers very welcome. You're not gonna get much in the way of like interesting discussion. You're probably just gonna like. There is one dude who's a composer in. Yeah, we got Pulp in the server right now. He's composing, and he's good. I don't usually have anything too interesting or fascinating to say about music, just because I'm just not that good enough to say anything too interesting. But yeah, definitely come if you wanna. Pretty fundamentally different than that. Yes, it is very different. I'll talk about that right now in a sec. Do you know any spaces where people with aspirations congregate? Yeah. Oh, Cunning Eater is based now. That's pretty based. Um, it's not uncommon for people who like learn Japanese. Some people get more cringe because they like they become sex pats and they become cringe as fuck. But some people who if you don't live long enough to see yourself become the villain, then yeah, you tend to get pretty based through reading Vinnies and shit. But yeah, yeah, as far as good creative server stuff, as far as music goes, I haven't seen anything. Which is why I say like I'm open for anyone who does music to just pop in and whatever. That's very cool. If people do that, if people want to pop in and whatever and do music and shit. But as far as places for music, there was Josh, Ongaku Concept Josh. He's always being like flaky and freaking out and shutting his whole fucking gig down. I don't know what he's up to these days. He had a server. It was the typical thing that happens a lot with small servers that allow too much chit chat, is that they kind of develop a culture of their own that has little to do with the actual activity that they're doing. So I haven't been in his server forever. But he did have a place, and the theme of the server was supposed to be that's the name of the guy. Yeah, he had a server. I don't know what the hell the state of it now. It was supposed to be though, yeah. Japanese inspiration, style, composition, and all that stuff. I don't know what he's up to these days, but yeah, he or not him, but it's funny because what's different, very fundamentally about art and music and stuff, is that it's like if you're trying to draw and you have the way you want to draw and all that shit, it's like it's such a poignant, like, oh, I just realized that this is fucked up. If you have the way you draw and all that shit, it's such a poignant difference from okay, to put it simply, the weeb otaku way of wanting to draw and the standard like Western way of wanting to draw are so culturally different. They're just like night and day, and there's implicit venom between the two of them. Like they fucking hate each other, and like they might hide it sometimes, but they do. They all hate each other. It's like if you want to draw anime and shit, you're gonna be fucking despised by everyone who doesn't want to draw anime, and probably vice versa. But like music is funny because music is obviously not like that. Like music is much looser in its cultural distinctions. Like Japanese music doesn't so drastically define itself as so like diametrically opposed to what certain scenes of Westerners are doing and all that shit. So it's like it's a different thing, and I think that's part of the reason, other than just the fact that obviously it's the thing I'm least good at. I think that's the main reason I just don't talk about music a lot, because it's just more of a it's just a looser thing. And like Japanese composers too, like they have like music culture is almost like its own thing. It's almost like it's almost like music is part of music culture first and foremost, before it's then a part of like the country or the subculture it's a part of. It's almost like it's that's my personal experience with it, just from a more from a little bit more of like an outsider's perspective. That's always the perspective I've had on it. I'd be interested to hear what like more intense musical people think about all that. But yeah, that's always been my perspective, and I think that's why I don't talk about it a ton. But at the same time, I do think, on the flip side, that I do think that music is very, very embedded in the various cultures that it's and subcultures and all that shit that's a part of. And obviously, like, music is definitely one of the things people think of. Obviously, there's a lot of strong associations between music and like otaku media and otaku adjacent media and stuff. So I do at the same time think that there's a lot to talk about there on the cultural side, but I'm not gonna be the one to do it anytime too soon. So all right, now the question is, should I bother drawing in the Yoshinone puppet? I guess I'll do that. Might as well. It's good to get like some EXP with miscellaneous stuff sometimes. That reminds me. It's actually just speaking of music. I was thinking earlier today about speaking of Dan Salvato. I was thinking of some like just one of the one entry from the fucking encyclopedia of just outrageously fucked Dan Salvato quotes. But I remember one time he was like talking about the music that he did for DDLC. And he was saying how, like, I kid you not, I think I don't want to like make something up, but if I had to guess, this is probably less bad than what he actually said. In all likelihood, what he said was even worse than this. But he was like, "Yeah, I thought like, oh, maybe I could hire like a more seasoned composer and ask them to make like generic visual novel music." But I'm glad that like I did it. And I kid you not. I think it was like an accident. Yeah. I think he like, because he immediately looked like he was like not even sure of what he just said, but didn't want to I just fucked this up completely. But didn't want to like undo what he just said. But yeah, it was fucked. It's one of the most fucked things I've ever heard in my life. Because it's like, it doesn't even, like, first of all, obviously goes without saying, he's not a fucking good composer. And then second of all, he's saying this idea of, like, generic VN music, which is just not a thing, that doesn't exist. Yeah, it was insanity. It was absolute insanity. Someone needs to, yeah. Someone needs to bring him down. I think it's because I didn't make the arm long enough, so like Yoshinone's getting a little bit squished. I'm not sure though. It's hard to say. So the Sonaka characters are like shockingly long. They're like shockingly long.
Oh, the characters?
Yeah. For the style, because the style gives such an around impression, but they're shockingly long. Site that has sheet music transcriptions of and music. I think YouTube just killed your link. I think YouTube censored your link because it probably auto thought it was like spam or something. Maybe try typing it in again, but with like a space or something. The link was the glowies how to get rid of the link. Japanese composer friend turned me on to his... Oh, sweet. Yeah. If I am interested in that, so like you could maybe post it into like a YouTube comment or something, or just if you do go into my server, you can post it there and stuff. Oh, I see. This is the other one. Okay. Sure. The comment attached to it was lol. Why do that when you can just... Yeah. And yeah, it's... I don't think he has the... I don't think he has the skills for that. I think he's like... I mean, he's not... He's not even in denial about that. He said he's like not good and stuff. So it's funny too because it's a site that also has yeah. The feds keep destroying our links. But yeah, definitely let me know. Definitely. Oh, Skay Hane. Yeah. Actually, I don't think I knew about that. But yeah, let me know like if they Gotcha. Alright, let's move on. I think this was okay. This came out okay. Yeah, let's move on. Besides being a pay pig, well, first thing, honestly, I believe that, like, just talking about shit and, discussion. I honestly think just discussion is always good, especially if it's, like, informed discussion, and especially if it's the kind of informed discussion that, encourages other people to be more informed as well. I genuinely think that is never a waste. I think that's never wasted because it really does like domino, and having obviously been like around having a general sense of like the zeitgeist of the internet for a pretty long time now, it's like I have seen it change over the last 20 years and shit, and like things start with the few informed, and they spread over time. If there are good ideas and those good ideas are stated well and they're stated confidently and they're stated frequently, those do eventually topple bullshit. Even bullshit that has momentum and power on its side good discussion, good frequent discussion, informed people do eventually topple bullshit. So yeah, informed discussion, always good. It's one of the most powerful things. Literally, whenever anyone says anything, no matter how much they're getting paid, no matter what kind of platform they have, whatever is on their side, if they just get this idea in their head, like, oh, someone smarter than me, or more passionate than me, or more informed than me, or whatever, is gonna, like, appear and give me shit for this, and that will possibly happen multiple times, and it will possibly be multiple people, they will think twice before saying something fucking retarded or aggressive or whatever. So it's like, the smarter, more informed, and more talkative the average consumer is, the average based on otaku consumer is, the more powerful culturally we are comprehensively. Yes, total otaku victory. TOV. TOV. It's true. Well, it's not my keynote. It's a copy, but yeah. Thank you. I wish that was from imagination, but we'll do an imagination before I get off. I think this is my first day back, so I don't want to draw anything like fucking cringe. But maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll draw an original. Let's see, what else can a consumer do other than being a pay pig? Let me think. Do you have any thoughts on that? What can consumers do other than being informed and talkative and pay pig?
Attempt to learn some of the arts.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to master them, become good at them, but it's just learning, just getting started with the education can give you all sorts of benefits.
Yes, signal boost, yep. Yes, dabbling in the arts specifically with the intent of learning about them, specifically with the intent of figuring out technical things about them, empathizing with the technical stuff, is extremely good. It just does, it enhances the everything. I mean, literally everything gets better. That person's going to enjoy things more. They're going to talk more intelligently about things. They're just going to get what they're consuming better. Everything.
They have higher powers of recognizing bullshit.
Better nose for bullshit. So yeah, there's no, if you're a consumer and you draw 15 minutes a day, that's like for fun. That is not a waste at all. That's
as long as you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, as long as you're genuinely like trying to learn the right way and you're genuinely trying to figure out how things work. It's not just like some Jiko Manzoku shit. You're genuinely interested in figuring out how all the shit works. That's huge. That's a huge even if you did nothing other than that, that's just incredibly meaningful, honestly. So otherwise, let's see, is there a third, or no, that's 3 things. Is there a 4th thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, get good at another skill.
Oh, yeah. Get good at another skill that's not related to creation. Like, become like a fucking doctor or a lawyer or own a pharmacy or yeah, I don't know. Own whatever. Own a company. Own a grocery store. Just like get shit. Get resources.
Yeah, I mean that's high tier, but it can be lower.
Right. It can be something smaller too. Like you own a or not you own. You're a valued barber. You're good at cutting hair. Yeah. Just something that can benefit society and other people, and can benefit because that can go back to helping people who are culturally invested in the same things as you, and that can help trickle back into the promotion of good shit being created. So that's huge. Yeah,
just occupy space that a non-otaku would otherwise occupy.
Yes, occupy space that would otherwise be occupied by non-otaku. There are also tons of admin roles in otaku. Yes, exactly. The entire business side. I think that's one of the things that Western otaku projects lacks. Yeah, absolutely. Skilled organizers of otaku gods. Yeah, that's completely true, and that's one of the reasons. JB John Blow, he was saying how what happens after someone who makes a very successful indie project, gets all their friggin' money and all their wealth and shit. What do they do after that? They fund other projects. They help other projects get made. Literally something as simple as throwing like 10 grand at some project you want to see happen could completely change the fate of whether or not that thing gets made, and if it does get made, how well made it is. Just 10 grand could do that. I feel like I'm totally fucking not aware of where this eye should go. Should have drawn the eye in before the hair. Yeah, well, the angle's fucking off, for one. Yeah, just contributing, money is huge. If just contributing some money is huge, imagine what, being an influential, producer or something means. That's huge. That's, those people are having such a big effect on the market and everything. Alright, I still feel like this is fucked up. So we'll find out in a sec. Yeah, this is not right. Yeah, and that's why it'd be really nice to see more people occupying that kind of space. I'm just gonna have to lasso this in a sec. What the fuck? Alright, well, first of all, the nose is in the wrong spot. I'm finding getting the right pressure out of the pen is a lot harder now after this break. I was like a machine before I took my break. I was controlling this shit so well. Whatever. Let's just go. Yeah, let's just move this a little bit. Yeah, business side is huge. Can you show reference? Yes, I will show the reference. I don't think I showed the first one because I was worried that I think I was worried about the showing nudity on stream, but I will show this one. Kino Neptune pick from Yoan Megami. This is actually one of my favorite drawings of Neptune ever. Because the proportions that she did for this one are like... the eyes are a little bit smaller than what she tends to do, and it gives the whole thing like a very kind of like cool impression. Like really brings out like the kako kawaii element, like really well. Super kino, and like the way that the hair has like the higher volume of locks and shit. Just looks so good. She'll have like a certain it's kind of it's almost used as like a gimmick look in sometimes you see it the most in probably when she does Data Live stuff, but like she'll like break into this like higher you know, like hair lock volume, like finer detail kind of shape thing, and it to emphasize more of like a get a little bit more of like a kako-y thing going, and yeah, it looks sick as hell. Because like there's one insert illustration every Data Live volume where the whoever is the seirei of that volume, I don't think they all have this, but most of them do, will have like one picture where I'll just show you. Actually, might as well just show you since I've talked about it this much. I guess I'll just show the first one. Very epic. Can't tell if I'm putting enough space in this. I'm starting to feel control coming back a decent bit, at least, and like spatial recognition coming back a decent bit. So I think last time I took a break this long, it was like 3 days before I felt completely normal. Let's try to go a little bit faster now that I feel more comfortable. See what happens. I should also note the design as I'm working on this, because I've been trying to, because like obviously like for my current project, my current game project, my brother is like actually the one doing like the actual like art assets and stuff, but I'm still have to come up with like ideas for characters' outfits and what they should look like and shit. So I've been like, it's been like kind of grueling, but I've been like really trying to learn that shit, like how to make good designs, good outfits, all that shit. Very deeply tied with just how good you are in general, so it's tricky, but Have a handful of them, and they shed a lot of light on the actual production and constituent elements that go into the final image. Oh, bring up anime production notes as a tool for. Yeah, actually, I pointed out how good sete are in one video I recorded, because yeah, those are freaking top notch. Like if you can get your hands, especially if you can get some like good. That's one of the perks of obviously living in Japan, is you can easily get this stuff. These are excellent. These are top notch for learning. Especially like obviously any karasete sheet is perfect because the correction sheets are good too, but yeah, because you're seeing like perfection. You're seeing the exact, okay, this is the character designer showing the character exactly how they're supposed to look. Nice to hear this is some copy-paste. Copying karasete, nice. Yeah, sometimes, honestly, like, a really, really good thing, I think, for beginners is intermediates, whatever. Anyone is just repeating, taking a few karasete and just repeating, doing repeat copies of the same one a shit ton, and then moving to the next one, and it's just insanely good. I saw some people also talking about how like the setting ones can be really useful and stuff too, but I've never done anything with like setting ones before yet. Although I probably should at some point, especially like if I'm trying to design shit and stuff. I should.
You like backgrounds?
Yeah, background stuff. Background props. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah. Yeah, because some of them just have straight up like props and random shit in them too. Cause I think I did not do that right. I think it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's supposed to be more over there. Yeah, no. More like that. Alright, let's see if I can get the hair ornament thing right. The Hidamori sketch background notes are pretty easily found online. Oh, nice, yeah. I wanted to buy. There was a couple Hidamori Genga collections. I'd like to buy those at some point. I actually have all the. I actually have all the Madoka ones physical because I was like making decent money at the time those came out, so I just like bought them all, and they're really. I actually usually have them sitting on my desk and shit. Really nice, cool thing to just like flip through and shit. Monaco 1 through 3, nice, yeah. Yeah, really, really cool. The it's funny because you don't notice, but the first one has the first one has the bit from the opening where with the like the metaphysical like nudity and shit, and it's funny because you can see how like you can see how much of a like erotic touch those were drawn when you look at the actual like Ganga for them, because in the actual like show you don't notice that as much because of all like the effects that go in and all that shit. But yeah, it's really really sick to see. Yoshida design sheets. Favorite one that I have is the Bakemonogatari key animation notes part 1. So much cheaper in total. Oh yeah. See, that's what's like funny. That's what's funny. I mean, you really it does like pay to be in Japan because you're just saving a lot of money and you can get like so much good shit. And you know, you could just go on like Sudagaya and just like buy like fucking anything. Usually not for not much money and shit. Because I can't. This is supposed to be smaller. It's also supposed to be more like that. Okay, let's go. Feels like the hair is too big compared to the face. Yeah, it is. You gotta fix that. Part of it too is it got fucking cramped on the left side. It's supposed to be more like that-ish. And then just in general. Here, let's just do this first. Because, yeah, it should be more like that should be where the top is, more or less. Yeah, it's a little better at least. This is also all fucked up down here too. Like this is should be coming out more like that. It's gonna be a bit before the shit feels good again. Let's see if we can get this right. Yeah, it still feels fucked up. I'm just gonna do this. Fuck. Now that. Fuck, that looks good. We'll worry about it later. Getting a better feeling for it. Oh, this feels fucked up. No, that's all fucked up. This is supposed to be like a very smooth, kind of long. Have like a longer, kind of nice, satisfying dip to it. I don't know if I'll be able to get that. No, it's up to the top. No, it's just too. Let's just move on. No, this is definitely not. It's too far. So we want like that type of thing. Showing how useless. Honestly, like, no matter how many times I've drawn Neptune, I never stop finding her hair hard. So it's got like a, especially these parts are so hard because it goes like a doot. It's like almost like a staggered thing, but then at the same time it's not. The fact that there is essentially a major otaku district in the largest city of the world and that considers a tangible nexus for the culture seems pretty vital. Do you think otaku culture could ever be ascendant in the West without a physical center? Is digitally overrepresented sufficient? Yeah, that is actually a good question. That is a good question. Because, like, if you think about Japan, obviously, yeah, like, there's the whole thing where naturally, obviously, most famously, obviously there was Akiba, but then like as obviously, you know, it got more busy with like outsiders and shit. This is definitely just not right, but whatever. I'll figure it out another time. I'll probably draw this picture a couple more times, like tomorrow. But yeah, because it's like, all right, you got. What the fuck? He's online. Go Tomina, yeah. Oh, yeah. Probably will be a lot more from here, too, in general. But yeah, you had Akiba, but it was funny because, like, as Akiba became more, became less of, like, an exclusively, like, otaku place, I always felt like, personally to me, I always felt like Nico Nico Dogo was like the second Akiba, so to speak. That's always how I felt like Nico Nico Dogo was like the like 2000 set for like 2006 7ish through I don't know, like 2013 14 or whatever. That was almost like the digital Akiba, so to speak. That was like sort of the otaku center. So many people like got into drawing because of Nico Doga and all that stuff. So many people got into music because of it, or just whatever the hell they got into. Some otaku thing, maybe just otaku shit in general. That shows that digital space can serve a very close, similar role. At the same time, though, I do feel like physical stuff is kind of important, just because, like, you hear these stories about, like, you know, like the Smash scene and shit, and like how like all the Smashers would get together and all that shit, and physical space was very relevant to them because they have to actually like play the game together and shit. I think part of the problem was that I went a little too narrow with the whatever. Just gonna move on. Yeah, they have to play the game together physically and all that shit. But at the same time, too, there's also, like, it being physically close to those scenes, I think, helped get more people, like, into them and stuff. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to say, because that's the thing about being online, is that you're not, like, forced to go anywhere online, so to speak, whereas IRL, you live where you live, and where you live can have a big influence on what you encounter and all that stuff, and can end up having cultural implications. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a good question. That is a good question. Someone else probably know exactly. Like, if someone is someone who knows their shit about, like, demographics or whatever might have a better idea than me on that. Still thinking about the Debusky. yeah. That's literally like my favorite. It's like my favorite GIF ever. Just use it like. Just post something like mad, like toxic, and just like own someone, and then post that. It's like the best feeling ever. not sure if I'll bother doing the rest of the body. I'll just do what's visible in this frame. I didn't even notice that there's a lock that goes on like that. Yeah, I feel simultaneously kind of like refreshed with some elements, and the other elements just still giving me a lot of shit as far as my basic hand control. It feels like 75% maybe. My ability to think about everything at once feels really debuffed right now. That's the thing that feels particularly debuffed right now. Like just thinking about visual information all at once. Sometimes forget how Kino the Neptune Paladin design was. I wish it would get used more, to be honest. I feel like I'm forgetting to do the. I'm just like periodically forgetting to do the line skip thing. Yes. Speaking of Smash, someone needs to, what we need is we need an evidence.zip for Toby Fox. Need someone to bring to light all the list of charges on him. Call for his removal. Feels alright. Yeah, because like it's funny because like one of my favorite artists, Ichion, he was like totally a product of like the Nico culture, and it just like reading. I caught him at the like kind of the end because it was like 2013 when I found out about him and stuff through Pixiv and stuff. You know, as I was like getting, you know, it was right when I was like starting to get serious about, you know, it's not like serious, not serious, but sort of serious about art. And yeah, it just felt like the comfiest fucking time like ever on Nico. Like it just felt like such like a just like a good time. It was funny because like the equivalent was YouTube culture in the West, and YouTube culture is just like fucked. Like like obviously like some funny stuff came out of YouTube culture. Like I loved like obviously like all the like the fucking CDI YouTube poop stuff was obviously hilarious, classic, but you know, obviously nothing like productive ever came out of YouTube culture. And it's funny because the one thing that was in common between YouTube culture and Nico culture was fucking speedrunning. It's the one thing they had in common. Which is actually funny because it means that every speedrunner at the time was like technically closer in proximity to fucking like Nico culture and therefore like otaku culture inherently than like most people in the West. It's actually just really funny thing to think about. Obviously it didn't like, that doesn't mean anything. That's obviously did not what happened. It's not like speedrunning culture developed into some like fucking based in otaku thing, but yeah, it's actually quite funny when you think about it from that perspective. Just in terms of like raw physical proximity, like that was the closest thing physically. All right, this is just fucked. I don't know. I'm gonna have to actually. Might not be a bad idea to just literally right now just do a targeted study of just the hair again real quick. But try to move through it a little faster. Let's just quickly just kind of vaguely put that. Yeah, see, especially when I can really feel it when drawing like a circle. Like I can't keep control over a stroke or pinpointly decide how like tense I should be. It just feels kind of like feels like there's a random element. And I can't get it light enough. It keeps coming out too hard. Whatever, that's fine. Let's just go. Just really rough messing, sort of basic head shape. Just the neck. Yeah, I can't get light strokes. I was like, last time I was drawing, I felt like a machine. All right, let's do this. Start with the bangs. Trying to do the line skip. It's tricky because like there's an exact, especially like with this part, this lock, it goes, and then it at a very, very specific and important angle, it cuts it like that. You gotta get that or it looks like shit. I think I might do a quick original drawing after this, but it's gotta be something really fucking simple. Because I don't want to make anything fucking cringe. With how rusty I still feel. Just be a quick sketch. Maybe I'll draw I think I'll draw a Hebon character or something. Alright, this has to go more. This should be okay, well first of all this is the head shape. Like that. This is always one of the hardest areas, like at the end of the bang. Thoughts on Toby Fox syntax? We actually were talking about him earlier, and I was just saying how someone needs to make evidence.zip Toby Fox edition. Someone needs to go full Joker pilled on Toby. We need the otaku hacks to bring evidence.zip on Toby. List of charges. Yeah, I don't. As far as thoughts on Toby, he's cringe. That's what I think. Those are my thoughts. He's cringe, and he's the most evil man to ever walk the earth. In zero exaggeration, zero irony. He's the actual most evil man to ever live. And if you don't think so, you haven't been looking at the literature. Alright, this is already feeling better. I think it was just a big shock at first. I think I'm going to do this side first. It's funny because when you look at just the bangs like this, like especially in this style of drawing where the locks have more of a broken up like high volume thing to them. It's funny because just from these locks you wouldn't immediately think that this is Neptune, where they're like more, because there's not like a ton of evidence of this sort of spiky wavy hair thing just from this. Yeah, and if he is not stopped, if Toby's not stopped, then it will be the end of. It will be over. It will be over for Otacells in the West. It will be over for Otacells. And if it's over for Otacells, it's over for the world. So, see that Rail Romanesque just got a season 2. Q announcement. Yeah, I actually did not know about that because I am not even familiar with season 1. Let me take a look real quick. I literally didn't even know that they made a season 1. I did not even know that. Was it like a 3-minute thing like they usually do with Eroge? Or I say usual, but like I just mean like a lot of like times you'll get Eroge like anime that's like technically an anime, but it's like a 3-minute thing. Or was this a proper? Yeah, because I've been completely out of the I've been completely out of the anime loop for like 4 years now because I'm just starting to get back into it because it was just like less relevant to what I was doing for the time being, and now I'm getting 2020. Wow. Was it a proper thing or it wasn't good? Yeah, I have Hachiroku. I have a Kino Hachiroku figure, but I'm a huge Maitets fan, excited to play Maitets for the first time. I like my actual exposure to Maitets is extremely small. I just think the art and shit is Kino and stuff. And I mean, like I've seen like scenes from it and stuff, but like one of these days I'll actually play Maitets. This is fucking annoying. There's a, pretty sure it just served a yeah, yeah. Yeah, it tends to be how it is. Sometimes there can still be like, nice perks from productions like that. Like, maybe they'll have like some cool clips or something, but I'll definitely check it out though. See, if it got a season 2, that's kind of funny because, I mean, someone is doing it for some reason. I'll check it out and give thoughts. I'll also finally play Maitets instead of just praying to my Hachiroku figure every day. The Woolly H scenes are I haven't read it. Yeah, exactly. I also got to finish. I say finish, but I only played like a couple hours of it. Finish Mono Beno at some point. The fucking emoto in that is just like Kino. Fuck. Yeah, this feels a little bit better. The part of Neptune's hair, like if you have her, her face, the part of her hair that goes down like this on the side and breaks it. That shit is unironically the hardest thing to draw ever. Whether it's copying or trying to do it originally, it's just the hardest. It actually, too, in the original, in the original drawing of her for the first game, it actually looked, it was like designed a lot worse than it was in later games even, so it's just like a very difficult feature. Yeah, Mono Beno is supposedly quite fucking long because of how many fucking H scenes they added to it. I think there's like, if you count the DLC, I think there's like, I literally want to say triple digits. I think there's triple digits H scenes. And each one is probably not less than 5k characters, if I had to guess, in length. Probably as long as 10k characters on some of them. So if you add that shit up, that's like, I don't know, I can't do math, but it's definitely a lot. I think it's pretty long natively even without the DLC. So seems like the type of game that like you don't want to sit down and be like, I am reading Mono Beno to the end. Seems more like the type of thing you like pull up for a goon sesh every here and there over the course of like a year. It's probably what I'll do. I'll probably just chip away here and there when I feel like playing something comfy. What I've been doing at the moment, when I want to like chill though, is like I've been pulling up the Yuri counter signalers aren't gonna like this one, but I've been pulling up local Rainbow Stage a lot when I want to chill, because I just like go, the dialogue is so well written in that game, and the character personalities are very, very pronounced. Like the archetypes are very well, like very consistent, very like every single line is like very careful to state the character archetype and info in an interesting way and stuff. And so like that's kind of been like my go-to like chill game. Like if I'm just tired as fuck and I just like, I'll just go through scenes in that multiple times and just really, really stare at the dialogue and stuff. It's been extremely good for learning how to write in Japanese. Yeah, see, these locks are tricky because they need like they have like a certain thick feeling that they need to give off, because you can't do that, or you can't do that. Like it has to have like a certain it has to articulate the line directions in a certain way, something like that. This looks a lot better. 2KK. Actually don't know what double K means. Is that a million? Is double K a million? Looks really comfy. Yeah, it is quite comfy. It's like, it's borderline in audio drama. Well, because that's what the series originally was. Yeah, the art's very nice. It was originally like just a set of audio dramas, but they decided to make like a special, like a little special game out of it. 11 Eyes and shit, yeah, not so comfy. I've been dying to play 11 Eyes soon, hopefully, because 3 Days is like pretty much my favorite Vinny ever. And I am almost done with Sorceress Alive, and Sorceress Alive is fucking key now. So Legion seems like he could end up being just my favorite writer ever, possibly. So I'm really hyped for 11 Eyes. Yeah, the designs are fucking sick. I love the fucking how they got like a stylish kako kawaii thing to them while feeling there's this like distinct like Halloween-y feeling to that and that in 3 days that I just really dig. It has like this it's occultic in a way that is both extremely creepy and fun at the same time, contradictorily. Yeah, 3 days. I don't straightforwardly recommend 3 days because it's like one of those things. Like, it's got a lot of reasons for people to like not like it, but I just fucking absolutely love it, and it feels unfinished because I'm pretty sure it's literally unfinished. Like, one of the entire like kind of important subplots is left like just a little bit open ended and underdeveloped and stuff. And there are some CGs that I shit you not, I'm pretty sure the fucking coders drew. So it was obviously rushed out the door, but what's there, if you're into it, is fucking Kino. Mid-career Shimbo. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that kind of, I don't know if I would say, like, gothic, but it's something along that line, yeah. Alright, this is feeling much better. I'm gonna put the tones in before going to the other side. Actually, I'm gonna put the tones in with red. Yeah, because like anything with any Vinny with very violent scenes in it tends to mean that it's focused on building up a lot of like creepy tension horror stuff, and that's usually going to make me like it a lot more. And it usually also means it's going to get it into like, you know, kind of like occultic-y existential horror shit, and those are all the things that like make me like dig 3 days so much. I haven't studied tones in like forever. For you, it's Fate Stay Night. Yeah, if you count all of Higurashi, if you count Higurashi and Higurashi Kai, and I guess Rei as like one thing, I think that's technically the longest. I think otherwise, yeah, it would be Fate. Although I unironically have like 10% of Fate left unread. Just because like Heaven's Feel is so stressful, I like couldn't go through it in one go. I couldn't go through it in one sitting, so like I literally have left like I have like 10% left, which I plan on doing very soon. But yeah, otherwise it would be Fate for me, yeah. Because Fate is like it's like almost 2 million. It's like if it was light novels, I think it'd be like between like 15 and 20 volumes or something. So it's pretty intense. Well, Bust's longest for me, Saki Uta felt longer. Yeah. I think breaking Busters ends up feeling like not that long, I guess, because of the way the roots are broken up and stuff. So it's like you almost don't even notice how long it is. This is supposed to be more like that. Speaking of long Vinnies, I've been really getting the urge to finally properly play all the Hello World. It takes me back to like that. My Hello World video is the reason I found the DJT. As in the DJT Discord, because I posted on the DJT 4chan thread. But yeah, I've been dying to... Hello World is like the most... for me personally, is like the most like... This sounds kind of cringe, but it's like the most like immersive feeling Vinny I've ever played. Like it just it's not even like it does anything special with like the end shoots or anything. It's just like that sci-fi setting is so poignant. It just feels like so intense and based, and I just really like it. It's kind of relevant now because it's like fucking robots, AI shit. It's suddenly relevant again. MC is like GPT, GPT if it was based in otaku. I can't, like, I'm trying to do, like, nice little, like, hatching things, but, like, I have no arm control right now, so it just looks fucking retarded. It's like an autistic person's scribbles. Alright, let's just quickly wrap up the other side, and then I'm gonna try to do, like, a really, really quick original. It'll just be something very, very simple. Honestly, maybe not even. I think my brain's like fried at this point. I don't feel like I could do it in an original. I'll do an original pose at least. Like a quick rough. What's up, Howard? Yo, period, underscore period. This girl needs a big ahoge. We could put one on, see what that looks like. Never thought of that, like Neptune with an ahoge. What that would look like. Yeah, I'm just practicing. I haven't drawn in a while, so I'm just like trying to get the what do you call it? The rust off and shit. I figured like drawing practice is a nice thing to have recorded and all that shit. It's a nice thing to be able to look back on, and it's fun for other people to be able to like see what you're doing sometimes and shit, so we'll probably do it a decent bit. Because like video making anyway is literally too fucking time consuming for me at the moment right now. Like I'm gonna be doing devlogs and shit soon. Probably honestly on a still not sure if I'm gonna do it on a different channel or not yet, but Okay, this is supposed to go out a little further. And yeah, videos are just a giant waste of time. So I'd rather just stream shit right now. Whenever I feel like streaming. Alright, let's see what the audio looks like. Yeah, no, mine looks like shit. Surely there's a better way to do this. Okay. Well, let's just do an original pose just for practice at least. Try and think of a pose real quick. Let's do like a sitting. This feels okay. Not bad. Not terrible at least. Keck, is the scrolling text at the bottom? Yeah. Akai. Akai. How the fuck do you read that? Owl something soon. Yeah, that's a new innovation. Oh, Owl Kakesu. Mind, I guess. Blue Jay. Gotcha. Kakesu. Oh, Kakesu. I will remember that. Oh, I see it. Kai. Oh, Kakesu. That's funny. But yeah. Yeah, that is new, and that's our white goose invented that. Scrolling text innovation. It's funny as fuck. Alright, well, I'm coming up with poses fine. So, maybe, maybe we're back. We want to see an original, like the 2 copies before. Yeah, I want to see an original like that. Yeah, let's just draw the face in at least. Let's just draw a basic face in. Actually, let's blow this up a little bit. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. Alright, that was too big. Alright, let's see what we can do. Oh, no, I don't like that eye shape. Fucking. Yeah, my sense of size is like all fucked up right now.
Sense of what?
Size.
Oh yeah.
It's all scrambled right now. Yeah, it's still alright. It's fine. I don't know if that's the right spot or not. Seems okay, maybe. Should we do a yeah, let's do a pupil. Let's put this down here. don't like the shape of that. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, let's knock this all down a little bit. And then I should be happy with this. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Yeah. How long has it been since you've drawn? I want to say like. How long ago did I designate you the artist?
I think it was like a month ago.
Yeah, I guess it's been about a month or so. Yeah, it feels longer, but yeah, it's been about a month. Oh, crap, my mom's calling. Well, let me text her. I'll call her back in a minute. Alright, let's... No, I'm ending up with too much of a thicker neck type of... Yeah, that's fine. And we're just gonna go with a very basic kind of... It's actually kind of similar to what I was just copying. It's not gonna think too hard about it. Nope, 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 nope. Mm-mm. I think what really shows your skills ability to draw the in such small amount of time. Yeah, look, I'd rather take 8 hours or so if your brother were to draw in this style. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you'll see. You'll see the drawings that I told for the project. They are coming out very nice, so you'll see those soon. I'm very excited to show those. All right, well, that's all I'm gonna do on this one because I don't feel like doing it anymore. Phase is a little bit longer than what I usually do. I'm happy with this. Alright, sweet. Yeah, so I mean, this is not a bad, not a bad recovery day. Not a bad recovery day. So tomorrow I'll keep drawing stuff. I might stream, I'm not sure. We'll see. And I'd like to definitely do some analysis streams and stuff too, because those will be fun. But yeah, it's fun. I'll definitely do it. Stay based in otaku. I will see you another time.